Aloha, Lemurian tribe. Blessings. Aloha. Welcoming you right here, right now. Woohoo. We're so grateful you are here. And I'm so grateful I have Courtney here. Look at our hearts, Courtney. Courtney is an attorney, an amazing attorney, and she's also an opera singer. We've heard her sing. She is singing directly from God. It's as if thousands of angels are singing through her one voice. And she is also an opera. Oops, I hear back noise. What is that? Okay. She's also an opera producer. And the reason why I wanted her to come on today is she has a lot of wisdom to share with us. I've seen her journey. She's a master student. So she's brought, higher self mastery to the highest level. And I've seen her journey and seen her blossom and come forth more and more. So this is what happens when we join higher self-mastery, when we're part of the Lemurian tribe. We become more ourselves. Nothing gets added to you or taken away from you that's yours. And you're not going to change so that people say, oh, you're so much better now than you were. No, you're going to change in a way that you let go of baggage. You let go of what's not you. You let go of who you are really not, and you bring in more and more who you really are, right? And who you are is the best and most magnificent expression of the divine ever been on the planet as you. And that we want to bring out, and that you want to bring out. Why? Because the fulfillment lies in that. When you're bringing it out 100%, you are 100% fulfilled in all areas of your life. And if you're not bringing it out 100%, then that area in your life doesn't feel fulfilling. So other people obviously benefit from that because you're sharing your gift with the world. But at the same time, it's worth your time and effort, because that path to you sharing your gift with the world and being the most amazing blessing you could be is strewn with fulfillment along the way. It really rewards you. Who's here who's experienced letting go of stuff that is not theirs and feels freer now, feels more themselves? Please send us thumbs up, give us your hands, let us know. Ooh, yes, Courtney is with me. Yes, yes, yes. This is beautiful. I see thumbs coming up. I see hearts. I see people raising hands if you're listening to the recording. And I hope you're the same. And this is why I'm bringing in Courtney today. I wanted you to hear her story. I wanted you to be inspired by her. I wanted you to feel connected to what she's experienced and what she's going through and what she went through and where she's going as well. I wanted you to take some of her tips and tricks and her habits into consideration to seeing if they match what you would like to implement. Because if you're only hearing from me, you're only hearing what I do. But I want to hear from you and you and you and you and everybody here how you are implementing your things. And in order to encourage that, Courtney will share with us today how she's using the tools of higher self-mastery, number one, how she is tweaking them and making them hers so they actually fit in her schedule and in her preferences, what else she's doing, and you're going to see where she started, what inspired her to come to higher self-mastery, and where she's going with that. And where she's going is super exciting and excited. And the thing is excited back at us, Courtney, right? So it's super exciting and excited because it's really a fulfilling of her soul's purpose in a most magnificent way. And you'll hear more about it. I'm welcoming Courtney Daniels. She's an attorney. She's a singer. She's an opera producer, and she's a higher self master. And we love you.
Thank you so much for having me today, Ariya. It's just such a pleasure. And I have so much love for you and this tribe. And so it's just wonderful to be here and hope that my story inspires and helps other people. Because I think there's always a lot of similarities in what we all experience in our lives. They may happen in different ways, but I think a lot of the themes are the same. So hopefully, something I say will help everyone here today, or they can at least resonate or empathize with something.
Yes, I'm sure they will. I love it so much. So yeah, tell us, where did you start? What got you onto the path of your spirituality and, coming to higher self mastery?
Sure, absolutely. So I grew up in the South, in Baptist church. I now am in California, land of openness and crystals, but that's not where I started. So this was all just very, very new to me. And I was like many people, I was kind of on that path of following the success, the American dream, like what seemed to be successful, what my parents thought was successful. So I had always sung, but things just kind of weren't working out for me. But it was kind of that thing in the back of my mind. It always kept being like, "You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this," but I didn't understand how, and so that got very frustrating. So I ended up going to school and becoming an attorney, and then I really tried to embody myself in that. Like I wanted to kind of reinvent myself as like Courtney the attorney, to like own it and love this kind of persona. But as Ariya was speaking to earlier, it was just one part of me. Um, but I got kind of caught up in it, going through the ladders, doing the things, ended up at a big law firm, like on that partner track. And was I really fulfilled? No. But was I busy enough that I was kind of like, I don't know, lying to myself and making myself feel like I was fulfilled? Yes, probably. Um,
Mhm,
and then I lost my sister really unexpectedly. It was very quick. And in hindsight, it was a blessing. She had a very tough life here and she lived the life that she was supposed to live. And she is in a much happier place now. But it was a real wake up call for me. You know, I looked at my life and I was like, if I died tomorrow, am I going to be happy with what I did? If nobody is on their deathbed and says, I wish I would have billed more hours, taken more client calls, done these things. And so it was just a point where I started to look at my life and reprioritize what was important to me, what was going to be fulfilling to me, and what would make me happy when I looked back on my life that I accomplished and did these things. And that was a lot of soul searching. And of course, the music came back up. Um, so I ended up switching jobs. I still do legal services, but creating a position for myself that allowed me to support myself, but also give me more autonomy over my schedule and more boundaries and kind of figure out what I wanted to do with the music. Um, and during this time, I also felt a very strong pull to, I'd always had kind of a physical intuition. We talk about that gut feeling you have. And,
uh-huh.
but I knew it was there, but I didn't really acknowledge it and I didn't follow it. And when I didn't follow it, things were disastrous. I mean, I look back and I'm like, why didn't I figure this out sooner? But so I decided that I wanted to try to harness my intuition and start to understand it more. And so I ended up joining Mind Valley as just an option to kind of feel out different things and learn about new things. And that's where I met Ariya. She did a master call, and I've never been somebody before this that enjoyed meditation. Like I would sit there and try to clear my mind, and I'm like, clearing my mind, I'm clearing my mind. You got to pick up the stuff at the dry cleaner. Clearing my mind, you should send that email. I mean, it was just my mind was so busy and it was so hard for me. And so she led us through the 3 heart meditation. And there was a bit that you did with this beautiful pink, like love palace sort of thing, and just sending love out to everybody. And it just resonated with me. I
Mm,
remember just like feeling the love and energy in that meditation like nothing I had ever experienced before. And that was the hook. I was like, I need to meet this woman. I need to try to learn from this woman because this is real. This is real. And
woohoo.
that's what started my journey.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And by the way, I hear that so often that people have never been able to meditate until they found what's coming through me. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see that and how powerful those tools are, you know?
Absolutely.
And the resonance you feel, I mean, everybody who's here felt this resonance in one way or another. If you can attest to that, just give us a thumbs up. There's a resonance that comes up when your higher self says, this is for you. There's something that you need to grow into. And right here it is. We're giving you shivers. We're giving you resonance. We're giving you an aha. We've had people almost faint. There are signs that the higher self gives you to say, this is where you need to go. It has nothing to do with my person. It has something to do with what's coming through this person, and is actually touching on your truth, how your truth is touched, right? How your growth is accelerated when you see the potential where you can go. It's like a door opener. I open a door and then people can see their lives behind that door. And something in the soul stirs and says, this is where I need to go. And this is also my mission that I set up. I said to my divine guidance, I said, only bring me people that I can help and let them feel it. If I cannot help them, if I'm not the perfect person for them, no resonance. Don't bring them. And so you can set up these systems, and you obviously are a person that could be helped by those teachings and had those teachings inside of yourself, and they just lay dormant and they needed to be awakened. And you said yes.
Absolutely. And one thing I really also just love about our tribe and your teaching that I just want to point out to people is that it's empowering you. Ariya always empowers you to connect with your higher self because your higher self knows the best and empowers you to try different things. I feel like there's a lot of teachers out there that want to kind of put you in a box and control you or like make you kind of reliant on them. And so for me, that was a huge, like, this is the real deal because this person wants to empower me to be able to help myself, not make me reliant on them. And that's so important.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, super important for all of us. Yes, yes, yes. Woohoo. Beautiful. So, Courtney, what led you to knowing that you needed to develop your singing career further and actually decide you're going to produce a whole opera?
Well, I want to say we're all different. I would tell you, I think I'm more stubborn than most. Uh, so it took me a little longer to get there than hopefully it'll take some of you because the surrender was so difficult for me. I felt the call. I knew I was supposed to do music, but I had this very like strict idea of how it was supposed to play out from my early days in music school. I'm like, this is what you do. And then you audition and these people hire you and that like legitimizes you as an artist and all these things. And it was such a small way of thinking about things. And so I felt that push, but like I would get some success, but I could never quite get over the hump or to that next level. And it's because I would not surrender to what my higher self wanted to give me. And I couldn't even like imagine what my higher self wanted to give me, right?
Anybody familiar with that?
I literally had to have like every door slammed in my face to make this project happen. I mean, and I remember the last like big audition I went to that I like flew to Seattle and did all this. And I remember like really going up to the higher self and talking about it. And it was like, you have to go to this. You have to go to this. And I did. And it was like this weird nepotism sort of thing. And I was like, this is disgusting. And it was like, yes, that's what you needed to see. You needed to see that so you would stop trying to fit into a system that wasn't right and was never going to get you where you needed to go. So hopefully you can do it a little kinder to yourself. But I needed to have those doors slammed in my face to surrender and to let go. And and it was so funny because I knew I would kind of start the project and then I would get an audition for something else and I would kind of refocus on that audition instead of on the project. And I think there's that need for like validation from other people, which is ridiculous because all these people are just doing what they're told. Everybody's afraid to make a decision and stand out there and say, no, this is what I think, so you've got to be the leader, you've got to be the one to do it.
And what got you to finally say yes, to finally say, I'm going to make that a focus? I don't
That
know that either, so I'm curious.
well, that last audition that I did, and I mean, like,
Okay.
there's
That's
times that you
crazy.
perform well, and there's times that you perform poorly. I know I performed really well. I mean, there was a table of people at the end of it. One of the guys was like, "Whoa, that was incredible." And so I sent my thank you emails, and I want to say 2 days later, I received an email from them saying, "I'm sorry, we cannot offer you this part. However, we would love for you to join us in this summer program we have. Here's the cost." They were never actually auditioning for the part. They were just trying to get people to sign on for their summer program and pay them money. And there were so many times like that. It's a tough industry. And so then I was like, forget this. What am I doing? This is crazy. And I have so much more to offer. And so that's when I just said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to try this new thing that's me. And I didn't know what I was doing. Let's be very clear. I mean, I am a musical person, but I am a music school dropout. If you start getting into like heavy music theory with me, my eyes are going to glaze over because I'm given I'm given music in my head. You know, I
Uh-huh.
feel like this piece was always a gift that was supposed to be born.
Yeah.
And so I just pretty much was given all the music in my head, and it was just my job to get it on paper and show it to people. And as soon as I
Beautiful.
started surrendering into that, like all the pieces lined up. You know, people
That's
that
that surrender.
right? I mean, like people that I thought I couldn't afford would come in and say, "You know what? Just pay me $100." I'm like, "What?" They cost thousands of dollars for recordings. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
it was just time after time after time. The musicians that I have playing with me are like the dream team, and none of them I mean, they're all like, "Well, if we sell tickets, we'll get paid. If not, we're not in it for the money." I'm like, "This is," you know,
Mhm.
it's
Leads us into more the guidance of the higher self,
yeah.
because, you didn't just decide, oh, you know what, this sucks so much. Now I'm just going to do this. This is how normal people would do it. We would get pushed by pain strong enough until we'd make a change. But we still don't know if that change is the right thing. We still don't know if we're on guidance, and it doesn't feel better. It just feels not as bad as what we were pushed out of, and you go from trying to trying to trying, and you're always having that doubt in your mind, is this the right thing that I should be doing? What should I be doing? I probably suck. I probably can't do it right. So that's where the majority of the world literally lives. Yeah, they live in either sticking with something that's painful because it's not painful enough, that's letting go would be less painful, or they have so much pain that they let go, and then they're being propelled into other things, and there's a 50-50 hit or miss. Doesn't
Mhm.
mean it's a miss, but it also doesn't mean it's a win. It's a 50-50 chance that you're going to choose the right path, or you're going to do the same thing again until the pain pushes you out. And anybody familiar with this? So, and that's where the higher self comes in. And I remember when we started mastery, I think 1 or 2 sessions right after you brought this opera to the table, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do this. And there's a factor to that, and that factor is a raising of your vibration.
Mhm.
Because if we stay in the action mode and we allow things to happen, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. We're in this 50-50 zone. But that 50-50 zone is not where fulfillment lies. That's where anxiety is. Because it does work out at times, and it does not work out at other times. So you're going to try really hard to get to that other 50%. And you're going to try to control that because that's the only way we can do things in this world, have it in our own hands if we try to control it, right? Can you relate to that? So we did a raising of the frequency, which is what we're doing here with you every time you come live, every time you come to the recording. We're actually raising your frequency so that you can have more than 50% chance of going on the right path. You can have all the way up to, 98% of chance to going on the right path. I always say 98 because I don't believe in 100% in anything. Um, there's always a chance to not do it. Yeah, your free will is always maintained. But if you are on a very high frequency, you're going to choose feelings that feel good. You're going to attract situations that feel good. And when you're attracting situations that feel good, then things like Courtney was sharing happens. Then, Courtney, you are attracting the people who do the work for you because they're inspired to do it, and you're going to attract enough money to pay them well afterwards. This is not a lack
Yeah,
project, but at the same time, when you need the support and when you get the money, those may be timely not together. So you need people that are so inspired to work on this that they can help get that ball rolling, and then you reimburse them later. So you're creating an abundance project that starts with abundance. It starts with abundance of giving, abundance of love, abundance of um, creativity, and that leads to more abundance in the people that come to see it and in the people that help you do it, right?
absolutely. I remember that first session where we really raised my vibration, and it was
Mm-hmm.
that was a game changer. I would not be here if we had not done that. I mean, definitely not in this time frame, at least. Um, because we recognize those things that fulfill us that we want so badly, and sometimes we get anxious or desperate with that energy, and that's gonna retract, not attract.
Yes.
Right, retract. That's the right word.
Yes. Repel.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
repel. Okay, that repels
It's
these
a
things,
German.
because you're not a match. And I remember coming out of that first session where we really raised the vibration, and it was like just the weight fell off of my shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I finally was like, this is going to happen. And I will just follow the path and figure it out. But this is absolutely going to happen. It wasn't a please, please, please let this happen. It was like, this is what I'm here to do, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to, listen to my guides and check in and try to be in flow with source's plan, and try not to get in the way. It's a
Yes.
very different mind frame.
Yeah, I love that. And that's really the high vibration. That is the high vibration when you say, I'm not getting in the way, but you're also clear. You also needed that clarity that this is the right thing to do, right?
Absolutely. And
And
staying
knowing, yeah,
sorry. Oh, I
go
was just
ahead.
saying, and staying in that vibration is so important, right? Like being really consistent with the tools every day, because we're human and that doubt is going to come back in. Things are going to happen that frustrate you, that are probably for the best, but you don't see it at the time. So, like using the tools on a consistent basis and knowing when you're dropping down, being able to call on those energies that'll help you, is just, I mean, that's game changing, but that's the only way that you can really fulfill your destiny, I think.
And we're seeing a lot of hearts and thumbs up. Courtney, you, I think, see them, but if you're listening to the recording, you don't see them. So we're feeling your resonance here, everybody. So thank you for sharing your resonance with us also. That's super important. And coming to the tools, this is what we're going to do today with you guys. We're going to raise the frequency so that you can be more assured of what is the right thing to do, so that you can attract more positivity into your life. And we do that every time we do a live session. So that's twice a month you get your frequency raised, and you literally get help with attracting what you want instead of what you don't want. So, and you've probably noticed since you're with the tribe that you see a much stronger trajectory and movement towards goodness and towards blessings. Yeah. And blessings come to you more. At the same time, this helps navigate difficulties because we're still not, out of difficulties. The waves are the same, but if we're riding the waves on the top and we can actually ride them like a surfer compared to being tumbled down below, our experience is going to be very different if the circumstances are the same. Yeah. And you can, of course, attract better circumstances also. So that frequency raise is part of every session, but we're going to do that today as well. But there's another factor that Courtney, you mentioned for a moment, that is the non plus ultra. It's really the solid ground upon which all of that grows. And those are the tools from higher self mastery. This is You basically have a routine. That routine is leak proof. And when I talk to somebody who does the routine, I know what I'm going to hear. And if I talk to somebody who doesn't do the routine, I know what I'm going to hear. I'm going to share in a minute. So it's consistent. And those tools are your morning programming, your evening programming, and what you do in the day to recharge your energy. That's your routine, morning, evening, and a daily recharge. If you do that, you have the fertile ground for everything to grow fine. If you add to that your higher self connection and you connect once a week or once a month or every day, you then have the guidance upon which this physical experience that's now fertilized and it's solid and it has everything it needs to grow perfectly can grow in the very best way. Yeah. And so today we will also offer you in the energy session a higher self group. And this is, I'm so excited. I'm going to bring Alex on in the energy session. Alex is one of our members, also a master, who just came and said a few days ago, hey, can I lead a higher self group? And I'm like, I had that wish out to the higher self. Thank you, Alex, for listening. So she's going to do that today with us. And so we're going to go up in a very high vibrational energy to our higher selves and get clear on our guidance, get raised in our vibrations so we can be on track, be assured, and attract back what we need. How do you like that, guys? Yes, here are my hearts coming. There was a little bit of a delay. I'm like, oh, they're still here. Thank you. Okay, we're getting thumbs up. Please respond to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good, and I appreciate you. Now, Courtney, share with us. I would love to hear from you how you are using those tools. Everybody knows how the morning programming, evening programming, the daily recharge is. We can reiterate that, but you find it in the app, and the daily recharge is literally when you recharge at nature. Yeah,
Mhm.
so 5 to 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, where you're just going to recharge. So that's what I'm talking about. But everybody uses it a little differently at a little different time. You can mix the tools together. And I think it'll be very valuable for everybody listening, Courtney, if you share how you do it. And we can either relate or also understand that we have a choice in how we mix these things up.
No, absolutely. So I, of course, started with, I think it was your 13-minute kind of morning routine. And then the person who couldn't meditate expanded on that. So it's more typically, depending on how much time I have in the day, it's more of a 30 to 45 minutes. And so I I've listened to you so many times that I know what you do. So I I've kind of made it my own. I put on, my music. I light my candles because I like to set the mood. I just, for me, it just makes everything a little more special. And it is special. This tool that we have is special. So I want to honor that in my day-to-day life. Um, so I really started a lot with the angels, which also was a great segue for me because it was some I knew of the angels. I went to church, so that was an easier way for me to kind of ease into spirituality with things that I was comfortable with, that I was familiar with. And then I've opened myself up to other things like Ganesha or other energies, Ganesha, and some of the different Gaelic things, depending on the time of year. When we have the time from winter into spring and stuff like that, I bring those in. But day to day, I always use Archangel Zachiel and the Violet Flame. Like he's my man. Him and Archangel Michael, we're like this. If I need clarity, I like to call on Archangel Gabriel a lot. If I feel like if I feel like I'm getting stuck and I need joy, I call on Archangel Jophiel. And if I feel like friends are stuck, I call on Jophiel for them all the time. If I'm not feeling well or I'm traveling, Raphael and I have a good discussion that day. So it just, whoever I call on kind of depends on the day and what I'm facing. But another thing that's been really helpful for me is I do the higher self surrender every day. And I ask my higher self to help me know what the priorities for my day need to be. Because we have a million things going on all the time, right? And we do have some limitations on time. And having that guidance on priority, like some things that I think like, oh, I really need to, it's like, nope, wait on that, do this, and this. And that's how I formulate my day based off of what I get from that, from my higher self.
Ooh, I love it. Don't you guys love this? Ooh, that's beautiful. I love that. I love the calling on the angels and also that you surrender to the higher self. Can you do that with us real quick so people know what we're talking about? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
Oh, no, the surrendering to the higher self.
Mhm.
And yeah, you have a beautiful example. I mean, I just connect with my higher self and I
Just
say, I
guide us, guide
joyfully
us,
and
guide us away.
completely surrender to you. And I ask that you integrate with me throughout this whole day. Live through me, feel through me, think through me, be me. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's do it one more, a little slower so everybody can do it with us.
Yes.
We with us, guys? Yeah, okay. So take a deep breath, close your eyes.
Higher.
Imagine you're done the morning programming, right? Morning programming is done. You're ending your meditation. And now, Courtney, go and give time when you say something. You give time for that same amount that the other person can say it. You know
Okay.
how that goes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Higher self. I joyfully and completely surrender myself to you. I ask that you integrate with me to serve my highest purpose throughout the whole day. I ask you to think through me, feel through me, act through me, be me. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ooh, are you already feeling a change, guys? Oh. And this normally comes at the end of the whole morning programming. But when you surrender into this, like into your day like that, that's very, very powerful. And the reason why I wanted you to do it with us is this is normally what I do with masters. We go into that heart opening. It's called the Saint Germain meditation. And there's more to that Saint Germain meditation. But I'm going to just make that available in our app. So in the next days or weeks, however long it takes me to get the technical details handled, I'm going to add that and it's going to be called Saint Germain meditation. And even by itself, that's a very powerful meditation to do. Thank you for sharing that, Courtney.
Of course, my pleasure.
Woohoo! So we are ready to take some questions. Who would like to ask Courtney questions specifically, how she uses some of the tools, what else she does? She only shared a few things, but yeah, go ahead and raise your hand. And then I'll call you on stage. And I'm also going to look at the chat, Courtney. And people, don't be shy. Don't let her sit here. Be so kind and ask. Okay. Mariah says, I'm so grateful for being here. What is the surrender? Kim said, and we showed it. Beautiful, Dave. Yeah. What practices do you do to support your voice energetically? Is Alex is asking. And guys, you can raise your hand. I can just call you on stage too.
So
But you can.
that's such a great question. It's been something that I've really been working with this last year. Because I think some of you were at Sedona and I had felt this light language coming to me. And so I've been working with it and just really being able to be a more open and clear channel. Um, and what's interesting to me and something that was very foreign to me when I started this is, we're made of energy. Everything's made of energy. And literally everything is made of energy. So like my opera, The Lost One, it has its own energy. And so when I want to work with it or ask for help on something, I can open to it. And if I'm calm and I listen, I can hear the song it wants me to sing into existence to help the energy flow. And so I'll do that as part of my that morning meditation where I know that I need help with something that day. And I think this is something anybody can do. If you can just, after you center yourself and you do your surrender, if there's something you're working on, you can call on whatever energy and say, how can I assist you? How can I make a sound that helps strengthen this, bring this to life? And just listen. And eh, don't be self-conscious about it, or be self-conscious about it and just own it. Hum it, do whatever you need to do to kind of get started. But just if you just let that out, it's such a beautiful connection for you and that energy, and also just birthing it into this, third dimensional life that we live.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that and for connecting to the energy of your voice or the energy of a project. And reminding us that you can literally connect to the thing itself as its own energy, right? We sometimes do that with money when people, ask for more money or want to amplify their abundance. I do it for myself. If I want to amplify my abundance, I say, money, I love you. Money, share with me. What do you need from me? What do you need to be comfortable with me? How can I make it more wonderful for you to come into my life more? How can you create an overflow? Or I'm like, okay, how can you create an abundance to pay for this and this and this project, right? So I'm looking at the project, I'm saying, money, please fill this project. Or I'm looking at the project and say, please be responsive to the money. So you can literally look at each project that Courtney was saying and look at it as an energy and talk to that energy and get a relationship with that energy going and it respond with it, but also you can connect it with other aspects. Yeah. I love that, Courtney. Okay, Alex
Oh,
is raising hand. Yes.
I saw Alex's question. Yes, I would love to make I've actually been kind of
The
working on
question
some
is, the
energetic
question is,
meditation. Oh,
the question is, so people understand what question is if you're listening to the recording. Would you consider making an energetic opera like meditation for the tribe, for the world? Okay, share with me what that would be, Courtney. I'm not even understanding.
well, I think it's kind of like an ethereal sort of music that has that sort of love frequency in it that you could listen to, that you could meditate to, that would help, support raising the frequency. Um, and I've actually been playing with that a little bit, so hopefully I will have something to release to all of you. But actually, since you brought that up, Alex, that is the point of the opera project, The Lost One. I've been working a lot with the energies to bring the people who need to hear the message to the show. But it's all about breaking through the barriers and the blockages and the programming that stop us from going after the things that fulfill us. So the project is really a soul project in the way that I woke up to what I needed to do to be fulfilled with my sister's death. This deals with the story of a woman who's in a coma. And so the whole story is kind of her in this dark kind of fairy tale land, figuring out how to break free, how to break the cycles, and to realize what's really important and who she wants to be, and then to fight for that. So the piece is actually made to inspire everyone to look at their lives and say, what's that thing that I really want to do that I'm not doing? And I'm afraid like people are going to think I'm too weird, I'm too old, I'm too big, short, whatever it is, and say, who cares? I feel called to do this. I'm going to break through all of these self doubts, this self sabotage that I'm doing that's stopping me from getting this thing that is my destiny. It's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, and this opera is an energy treatment for that. And it's steeped in art. So it's an artistic immersion where you hear, you see, and you feel so much of that without talking about it. So your frontal lobe that is here for reasoning and logic is more asleep, and the frontal lobe that's more open for absorption and immersion, and therefore changing and becoming courageous to that next step, is active and gets activated. And so you get into this opera immersion and come out inspired and empowered. This may be a good time. Do you guys want to see the trailer? Let me know. This may be a good time. Courtney, is that a good time for us to show your
Yes,
trailer?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Because I want to invite you all, and Courtney invited all of us to the premiere that's happening in Sacramento on, when is it, Courtney?
March 8th and 9th. So we have 3 shows, and we have the possibility of a 4th show if the ticket sales demand it.
That's so awesome. I love it. And so, yeah, let me quickly see how I can get this going. Let's take another question while I'm figuring this out. Who else has a question? Please come on stage or share with us. Oh, and Kim said March 8th is the International Day of Women. Wow.
That's very fitting.
It's very
What
fitting.
I want to show women as the strong warriors that we are. I feel like that's overlooked many times.
Big time, big time. Okay, share your questions. Who has a question as of, how does she do, her relationship with these teachings? How's the relationship improved? How's she using it? How's she using it for her performance? How's she using it in her attorney practice? What does she do when she's sick, or what does she do when she doesn't feel good? All of those are questions you guys could ask.
Oh, Alex has a question. She asked, how long
Okay,
has the
Alex, please
opera
come on stage because people need to see you anyway for later. So sorry, I'm interrupting here, but I want to just coordinate that a little bit.
While Aria's figuring that out, Ellen has a question about, do I ever feel stuck? And how do I get out of it? Absolutely. Absolutely. There are times where I feel stuck. And I definitely call on help from the angels when I feel that way. I go up, I sit in my higher self and just listen and try to just let ideas integrate and um, and eventually it comes to me, but when you try to force it, it doesn't work. So it's so much better to get still, to really anchor in, and to let your guides and your higher self talk to you when that happens.
Yes, beautiful. I love it. I want to thank you, Ellen, for this question, and thank you guys for flowing with me in and out of the vortex. Okay, so now I'm gonna get Alex on with her hand raised. Raised hands. Alex coming on. Good. Okay, Alex is the one who's going to guide us into the higher self session later. That's why I wanted you guys to see her. Hello, Alex.
Hello. Hi, Courtney. Thank you so much for your beautiful soul and everything that you're doing. My question was, how long have you had the opera coming to you, and when was the first flash of inspiration?
So it's
Mhm.
really funny because the idea came to me actually when the tribe was meeting in Los Angeles area. We were in Redondo Beach. When was that? That October. Gosh, I'm losing track. It was 2023, right?
Mhm,
October
mhm.
2023, where we had that meeting. And one of it was the first time, I have to tell you guys, I was super nervous. I'd never done anything like this. I flew down there. I didn't know anybody, and everybody was so kind and welcoming. And we had such an amazing, like, 48 hours. I did not want to leave. But I met Raj, who's on the East Coast, and we were all driving around because Ari was just an incredible sweetheart, like she always is, and was chauffeuring us all over the place. And we were talking about, my opera singing and the stuff that he does. And I said to him, I was like, I always kind of had this idea for a crossover project. It's not like old school opera. It's kind of like a Evanescence meets opera. And he was like, oh, that's cool. I would go to that. And I was like, I think there's a market for that. And from that, it just spiraled,
Gosh,
right?
yes. This
And
is what
then
the tribe can do, guys. And this is why I'm so excited about you, everybody, every person here in the tribe. I'm excited about your potential, about Alex's potential, about Courtney's potential. You are Alex, you are Courtney. You are someone whose potential can get more activated and wants to get more activated if you let it. And since you're live, I know you're letting it. And if you're listening to the recording, where can you let it? are you getting this? If not, come live or interact more, or, let us know. We want to help you. And if you're listening to the recording, chances are you're getting that. You're really getting that vibration. And this is what we stand for, helping each other to come out in the way God wants us to.
And I have to say, you guys, this project, Ariya was talking about, parts of you and being the whole of you. I've done a lot of opera stuff where I'm just playing a part of somebody else's idea, somebody else's thoughts. This project has let me be all of me. The opera part of me, the part of me that loved musicals, the part of me that loves rock music, the part of me that loves dark and light and fairy tales, just like it's so fulfilling in a way that nothing else ever has been. And I just want to encourage you guys, embrace your weird. All the little things that you do, please embrace your weird, because it's what makes you so special, I mean, life would be so boring if we don't embrace our weird. Own it. People love it. You will be loved.
Yes. Woohoo! And everybody's sending us hearts. We're all together in this. I love it. And I found the recording now. I'm gonna let you see the trailer. And thank you, Alex, for showing up later. You'll lead a higher self session. I'll say more about that. And so grateful for you. Aloha.
Thank you. Aloha.
Okay, guys, coming on, playing on stage. Okay, failed to publish video. Please try again. Please try again. Okay, no problem. Please try again. It doesn't want to do it. No problem. We're gonna conquer this. I'm just going to share my screen. Window. Chrome tab. Entire screen. I'm gonna share my entire screen, guys. And in order to get this on, this is gonna look weird for you, but I want you guys to see this. So just bear with me. Beautiful.
And I put a link to it, the Vimeo page, if you guys want to check it out if you're having any connectivity problems. So that's in the chat.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And you've heard her sing. People were asking, can we hear her sing? You've heard her sing a little bit, yeah. And what happens? What's the message for people at the end? What is the message that comes out of that? Share a little bit.
So the whole idea is that sometimes we have to break away the things that no longer serve us. Ariya is always talking about this idea of the chicken in the egg, which is from a German philosopher, Hermann Hesse, the idea that if you're in the egg, and you're asking God for something, all you know is this egg. So you're just asking for a bigger egg, where what you should be asking for is breaking through the egg to be in this new world you don't even know about. And so in his discussion of that, I'm going to butcher this quote a little bit, but Hermann Hesse has this beautiful quote that says, "For those who want to be born must first destroy a world." So it's about destroying those worlds and those blocks and that programming that no longer serves us, and burning it down and rising from the ashes as the new person you want to be, that's wholly you, that's completely you, and that's fulfilling to you.
Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. Are you ready to be born, reborn? Yes. So come join Courtney in Sacramento. I was going to be there, but I can't travel at that time. So I'm going to be there in spirit and definitely be there in spirit. I'll send energy. This can be a tribe gathering. If you guys want to come together, we've had amazing, amazing experiences when we come together as a tribe. And this is one such opportunity. Spend a night in Sacramento, go to dinner together, go to breakfast together, something like that. You can organize it in the tribe chat and yeah, organize coming together in Sacramento. The opera is in the evening. Maybe breakfast could be together. Whatever you guys want to do, and just enjoy being together, being in a really high vibration, and creating your own energetic breakthrough via a tool that is so creative and activates all the senses. It's not a meditation, it is a sensory tool. And that sensory tool can help you to find what you need in order to come out the next way you need to come out. Yeah. And you can just use it. You can invite people. I'm going to get Kevin on stage. Courtney, do you want to add something before I have Kevin?
Just that I'm so thankful to have been here with all of you today. And I just hope that something in my story inspires you to just break out of anything that's stopping you from doing that thing that you know that you've always wanted to do. We're here for you. There is a space for you. We are here to support you in that. And I love you guys. So thank you.
Oh, I love you so much, Courtney. But we're not done yet. We're going to get Kevin on and see the hearts are coming up here. Okay, Kevin.
Oh. Okay. Let us again.
Try it again.
Well,
Try
it
your
seems
camera one
to
more time.
toggle off. Okay. It struck me when the question about what you do when you get stuck hit me that if you never got stuck, you wouldn't have this testimonial now.
Absolutely. It's all about breakthroughs. I mean, that's our life, breaking through and then rising
Well,
and breaking through and rising.
if it were all too easy, you wouldn't overcome it. There would be, it would just, you wouldn't have a testimonial now. So that reframes obstacles and how we get stuck now.
Absolutely. I really, in the last year, have kind of changed my mind frame on this, which has been really helpful to me. You know, when things that happen that I don't prefer, instead of being like, why did this happen to me? I'm saying, this happened for me to teach me something. And if you can spin it and into that way where you're looking at it from a little bit more of a positive perspective, it's amazing what that energy can then create for you.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah, they say circumstances are neutral.
Absolutely. I mean, even something like getting sick. I got sick over the holidays and I realized that I hadn't been sick in almost a year and a half, if not 2 years, and that I was completely taking my health for granted. So maybe I needed to be a little bit more grateful for how strong and healthy I am as a person.
Oh, love that. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, powerful message. We got it. And you know, I think these are really important remembrances we need. Yeah. What's the word for that? Reminders. Yeah. And here's Ellen. Ellen, thank you for coming on.
It doesn't like me.
Thank
There we
you.
go. I just want to talk a little bit about this stuckness because you mentioned something that I have sort of evolved into the conclusion as well. And that is that I'm processing. And so I don't want, I'm working on a vision board and I don't want to put pen to paper, so to speak, until I can rattle it around in my mind. What's surprising to me is the length of time it took. And so I'm thinking, am I lazy? Why am I not doing it? You start to question yourself. But the minute you said you're processing, I went, oh my God, I've changed my mind and the way I'm going to approach it so many times because each time I refine it to my end goal rather than my means goal, right? So here's a typical example. I was looking for money, right? somebody said to me, "What the hell you want money for?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, because I can't go to bed with it. It doesn't love me." Um, so she said, "Well, what do you want money for?" And I realized the only reason I want money is because I want to be able to help my kids. Well, you know what? Money's not always the answer. So that gave me the ability to move forward instantly, because I said, "Okay, you know what, universe, you know better than me. Please help my kids out." And it became simple, but being stuck for weeks and weeks and weeks, because of course I have other goals as well and trying to refine them, I'm going to have to learn to become comfortable with that like you did, because I'm like, what a lazy slob, right? You start judging yourself.
Mhm.
But I realized that it's okay not to be 100% productive all the time.
No,
Mhm.
and I really struggle with that. I'm taught like we
Mhm.
do. And what ends up happening is you're forcing things that are actually prolonging you getting to where you need to go. So and that energy that like it's not going to give you the solution you need, right? So when you can just back up and give yourself some grace. Gosh, we never give ourselves enough grace, right? We give it to everybody else, but we don't give it to ourselves. So go, you know what? I'm trying to come up with a solution. There is a positive way. I'm going to give myself some time. I'm going to relax into it and it will come to you. It always does. And also, don't be
Thank you.
afraid to move forward with something that's not perfect if you feel called to do so. Right?
Yes,
Like we
Super
don't want to
important.
just be
right.
inactive all the time because we're worried about it being perfect. I always have that problem. I can be quite the perfectionist, and don't
Right.
apologize for it not being perfect. It is the best you can do at this time. And that is better than most people give ever. And acknowledge that and celebrate yourself for
Right.
that.
That's something I will look out for, because I mean, I thought I conquered my perfectionism. It was so bad it paralyzed me, because I couldn't do
Mhm.
anything, because I didn't know if I could do it perfectly. And then I thought, well, what's perfect? And I couldn't identify it. So then that gave me permission to be
You-
less than
Somebody
perfect.
said,
But I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. All I'm saying is thank you, because it's so nice to hear it from somebody else. I always feel like, oh, I'm the only one. Woe is me. It's not true. I think we all struggle with that.
of course. And somebody said something to me that really struck me in the last 6 months about how we will let go of something energetically, but there will be like shadows of it in the body. So it comes back up, right? And we're like, and when it comes back up, you start going, well, oh my gosh, did I not let go? Did I not grow? Did I not move? No, it's okay. Just acknowledge it and say, that's okay. Move forward. Like, how many times has Ariya taught us about when you start doubting yourself and you go to the higher self? Just like I acknowledge that my ego is doing a thing right now. That's okay. It can do its thing, but it's not going to stop me. I'm moving forward.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love it so much. Thank you, Ellen, for being here. Hoo-hoo. Hands are clapping. Beautiful. Okay, this concludes our amazing talk here with Courtney. Courtney, is there anything you want to say in closing to everyone? I know you already said, everything we needed to hear in terms of your love for us. But I just want to make sure, and thank you for that. Thank you for your care for the tribe. Thank you for your love. Thank you for acknowledging, what's happening here and using that in your own favor. And is there anything we're missing where this would be important for everybody to hear? I just want to make sure we get this.
Um, I mean, we've touched on it a lot, but I think if there was just one takeaway for me, it's just looking at the belief systems in your life that are no longer serving you and being ready to just let go of them. The fear, the what will this person think? Who cares? They'll probably love it. You know, if you can just get rid of all of that things where we feel like we're holding ourselves safe. You're not anymore. It doesn't serve you. You guys are so much stronger than that. You don't need it. You don't need it because you are amazing the way you are with all of those things that inspire you, that fulfill you, that push you forward. That's you. So just embrace it. And if any of you, ever want to chat, I'm always here. I love connecting with all of the tribe members. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or you ever want to talk.
Yeah, and see us in Sacramento.
Yes, please
and
go see me in Sacramento.
we're going to do a table now. We're going to go into the lounge. We're going to do a table with Courtney. So if you're interested in coming to Sacramento, come to that table so you can organize with some of the people who want to come as well. There'll be, if you're listening to the recording, we'll set something up on the tribe where you guys can connect with each other and just get onto that. It's going to be under the event page. And so we're going to support Courtney in that. Of course, there's no affiliation in terms of, okay, we get money from this or so. This is just, I just want to support her and support you in getting there. Yeah. Because this is just super important. And I want to support every one of you guys. So if you have a project, please put it in. I know you put projects into Marketplace. So please look at what is in Marketplace. Dave has something amazing there. Spencer has something amazing there. Judith has amazing stuff. I'm forgetting the names right now. We have people who just put up courses. So there are really amazing offerings there from your tribe people. And so if you want to evolve in a certain way that's aligned with the higher self and support your tribe at the same time, you may want to consider that. And not everything is paid. There's free stuff as well. You can connect with the artist or with the coach who's offering their services there directly, ask questions. So just help each other to be seen and see each other, so we can create more of that, what Courtney is sharing and what we did in our other speaker series with speaker session with Andrea, and we'll have more. My son is coming up, Nayade. He'll share about how you can live that lifestyle from the beginning and how you can help your own kids to live that, and what the world looks like from that perspective when you've never been inundated with anything else but your own guidance. And so he'll share some wisdom pieces from there, and I've greatly benefited from his wisdom, so I hope you will too, and I know you will. But what I'm saying is, what we're doing with this speaker series as well is we're really bringing the energy of the higher self mastery in very creative and individualized ways, so that you can literally live that in your own way. There's no dogma here, like Courtney said earlier. There's no ways of how you need to do it. There's just a toolkit. And that toolkit is like a palette of colors that the painter has and can paint with. I want you to use certain colors every day. There's no exception. But how you use them and what other colors you mix in and what kind of painting you do with that is your own. And I want to encourage you to do that and be inspired by each other, because that's where we need each other, for that inspiration and that back support and the joy of connection with somebody that's on your wavelength. Yeah. Good. That was a long way of saying that I love you, and I'm grateful for Courtney being here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's going to be a table with Courtney, and now we're going to say thank you to the people on the recording, and then I'm going to share a little bit more what we do here live. Love you so much, everyone. Aloha. Let's do our aloha ending with everyone for the recording, but if you're live, please stay with us. Take a deep breath. Aloha. Aloha. One more time, breathe in. Aloha.